Hi folks, it's Craig here with the Musha Shugyo podcast. We are at Kaizen Adrenaline 2023. If you have a look behind me, we've got the arena full, starting to really fill up now with all martial artists from up and down the country. We've got 7 different zones with multiple instructors on each zone with a massive amount of different disciplines. So if you're not here already, why not? Get your ass over here. If you are here already, jump on my mats at 11:30 on zone 6. Catch you then, folks.
Today we're going to do a demo. We've got kids, adults, parents all training with us. You'll see them doing demos and playing with each other as well. Please help with the claps. We'll do a short demo, maybe 10-15 minutes. It's all about music, so please, if you know the songs, sing along. If not, just clap. Not you in, so when the others clap, you start clapping. Yeah, hope you enjoy the demo.
Yeah? You don't do the rest. The complete system has 5 elements. Any system in here that works, I'll have it, 5 elements. It doesn't matter what it's called or what stack's irrelevant. Okay? Evade, enter, close call, take down, completion, done. It's got to have all that. Yeah? The Japanese, it's known as the 5 elements of combat. Japanese used to drill it into us to teach this age group the first 2. And as they grow up and get stronger, right on with the 3. Yeah? It was the first dojo I went in. Everybody else in karate was scared. Gate them back. Japanese used to do this about. Then move in, and they start at this distance. Well, I do from the JPA. I arrive at this slow Japanese. So it was on. So next minute, they're on the floor, looking up at them quite a bit of judo. And he was like, he was like him. Yeah? So I got the advantage for a second. Yeah? It was the biggest shock to the system because I was using habitual habits that I had to change them. Understand? And we've all got that. We've also got some instinctive habits, which are also in base karate. This is why they teach Gate and Bara. If you think I'm covered, okay, and then it became this. There's no resemblance to this. Okay? The other thing is, anytime I touch it, I should be thinking immediately. Anytime I put a lock on, I put the lock on, and then I release it. So I put it on first, then I release it. I don't put it on and go, right, is it on? Well, it's your life. You should be thinking all the time, when I know it's on, because this bugger's tapping me on the floor, it's on. And that's what you want to train for. Got it? If you train the other way, under stress, that's what you'll do. I've actually seen guys get he's done it. He's going to the guy. Is it on? This is a guy who's attacked him, and he's asking him. We're going. You should know it's on. You should be in pain. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to make it a bit lighter. So he's going to throw his punch. Okay. Remember, I said no pause. It's got to be fluid. This casement is just to stabilise it. 1, bump, that strike into the neck. Okay. We have, so your forearm, you see this one's padded up. Okay? So that's my better arm. I normally wear the 2. So the idea is Kaizen, knee-line, they're acting strike to the forearm. Understand? Far better than your hands. Look at complicated those things are. Okay, bump into the neck. From here now, okay, he's going to punch again. What? Well, you can't punch, I've got this one. Good, okay, punch. 1. See me change, and now I'm going to go to the other side. Make sure you're trapping the elbow. Understand? Make sure you're not trapping the arm like that. Otherwise it'll be around your neck. Get it? Good. You got it? So you literally go into the arm. Yeah? So I've gone 1, bump, and I haven't quite got it. My foot's in the wrong place. Punch in the air. 1. I go straight into it and do the same thing on the other side. Then I work that arm. Yeah? Okay, so let me just reinforce the cover. By the way, this is what I'm showing you. It close up, close the tank, 1. You tap it down, focus here. Yeah? You come through. That's all that's different. Bang! Wrap here, this is against this. I want to bring it down and keep an eye. When you put a lock on somebody, don't put it on gradually, put it on straight away. That's the point. If you weren't locked, I want to damage the joint. Now, the training principle is to stop damaging the joint so you can train. When you do that, that's where you get these people to put it on gradually. But if you train like that, that's what we do outside. Because it becomes habitual. Whatever you do on the mat, And the stress, that's what you'll do out there. Good. And stop for a minute. Where is it? Good. So when he throws that punch, I don't stop. I don't go each. See what happens? Because he'll fill that space. That's what I want. Then I want to be here. Okay? Got it? Yeah. Like, try and make it, slow it down, make it smooth, rather than looking for the point. So, and this is correct, people thought we do this, we go, each, knee, sound, and people start training like that. And it isn't, it's got to be fluid. So we call one, one action. Okay? Got it? Good. See how you're pushing him? You stay everybody else, try and make it one. Slow down. Then you do it quick. I'll do it like you. And then I'll fight you. If you leave the timing so he's getting comfortable, that's what will happen. Yeah? So when he throws his shot, if I go here, that pause is getting you punched in the face. Understand? Nobody attacks you on technique. And everybody thinks, karate people, that was it. They're like, yeet! No. Okay, that was never the idea. Okay? And by the way, this comes from a kata. There ain't a martial artist in here that doesn't do kata. They just don't call it kata. If you do partner work as a drill, that's a kata. Alright? I've got, listen, I teach MMA boys, and I'll say, right, I'm going to show you this. That's a kata. What? Yeah, you're doing a kata. Okay? My colleague over does a stream. He does some great stuff with the sticks. I'm calling a drill. So here's a shocker for you. The Japanese also call it a thing called ryoko, which is drilling. Yeah? 9 out of 10 times with a partner. Yeah? And you work the drill, and then you start putting some catches into it. I'm going to put a catch in a minute, because I'm going to let him punch off either end. You're not going to know. Alright? So he's giving you this one here first. I cover myself in. Watch my turn. I want to be that way. That's a strike. Yeah? I'm not just moving here. It's a strike. So I'm going to slip in a minute. He's down here. Okay? Now it's time to hit him down. Okay? Don't be bending over to punch people. Alright? Because you'll end up getting dragged on the floor. Okay? If you notice all the time, I'm working him. All the time I'm working him. I don't stop working him. If I stop here at any point, he's going to recuperate. The human being is a fantastic creature. Even though we're all going to be taken over by AI in a few years, okay? And it's immensely resilient. And it will respond to violence. You understand? Even people who never train, because there's an instinct to survive. Yeah? Good. Okay, so we've all agreed on that one. Carry on for a little while, then I shall cover it up again.
While we wait, find someone that you like. Get into pairs. Stay where you are, but find someone. Yeah. Some say nipple clamp, some say face. It's all good. What? So Peggy, we'll start with the Peggy. I don't know how many buggers are coming, so we'll see. We can advance it. If it breaks, these are artisanal pegs. They are fashioned by an old man in Okinawa. Each one has a market value of about £900, so you know. They're made from the wood of Minamoto Murasashi's bokken. Funny enough. Right, cool. We're just going to work a bit of reaction drills, because like me, you probably had a muffin on the way. So I'm going to get you with a partner. We're going to have a simple drill. You're going to close your eyes. I'm going to blast this whistle. I'm going to piss off a lot of mats. Open your eyes, fight for the peg. But I want you to think about this. I want you to get the peg off your opponent, but don't fall into the trap of mutually assured destruction where you both just grab each other's pegs. Be a bit defensively minded. Play it a bit cagey. I don't care. Does that make sense? Don't bring shame on me. Make it a bit active. Fight for your peg. Let go, chill.
Yeah, let go, chill. Yeah, there's your shot. There you go.
Bear in mind, if you're a spy in occupied Europe, having the right papers is important. You will scrutinise my papers. There are things you can do to set this up nicely. So if this man did ask for my papers, if I show them like this, I give him good reaction and gap. So what we're going to do is I'm going to step here to show him, and I'm going to bring the document a little bit closer to his face. That little step here, it's not threatening. Chin down, shoulders up. Yeah, sure. Here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fire a chin jab. So you notice I've gained ground already. Whilst this paper is still here, I'm going to step in and grab a lump of his back. As I do that, I'm going to put the hard simple thing on my palm right under his jaw, and I'm going to play piano on his eyes. So as soon as they ask for the document, I'll make a big show. Yep, it's here. I'm going to step in, back, like so. Raise the elbow high, your fingers on the eyeball. What lands on the floor first? His head. Yeah, that's what we want. You don't want to kick on it while we're too combative. You want to back of the head. Keep this tight in here. Raise your elbows. Imagine you're holding a grapefruit. Don't pull your fingers back. Put the fingers on his eyes. Humans move away from things playing piano on their retina. From here, let's imagine he's stronger. He's not falling. So we're going to write this down. We're going to grip. Hit your groin. We're going to use an edge of hand blow here. Knee to the bollocks. Edge of hand. Edge of hand. Make sense? Grab a bit of paper. Give it a whirl.
Variations at the end are great to train, but there's no set variation. It depends what you see, what your ability is, what you know. The arm drag is the essential bit of this technique. So I'm just going to show you some other little things we can do off this. And again, like I said, Jiu-Jitsu is such a multifaceted art, then people may specialise in different areas. And some of you might want to try and put a few locks on as well as some chokes and also I'll just show some other little bits and pieces for you, okay, so you can enjoy it. So from here again, we're going to come in, we're going to go through and we're going to take that elbow joint out from here, okay, with that rising forearms, right. So from here, down and through. I'm going to keep this low and my arm just moves against it, okay, I'm not doing this. As soon as I lift that, he's going to bend his arm and we're getting into a fight. And we want to try and get this done as quick as possible. just as well against it. If it's a knife being held on you, it works the same principle. Back and break. So that's the break through. There was a gooseneck, yeah, holding it there and controlling him at this point. So now I've got him under control, I can reach through. Maybe get a hold of his collar, and now taking him down. I'm just going to turn him round for a minute, because he will come back round towards you. If I turn him back, I'll take my foot away. Down he goes. Stretch. There's your choke. There's your gooseneck. Straight through, so hitting the crook of his arm, bringing it over. When you get to this gooseneck, down where his knuckles are, not up here, his wrist. You'll fight that, and you'll get out of it. Down here, you're almost lovingly stroke his knuckles. Look at that, isn't that nice? It's a Sunday, so I'm trying to be gentle. And there you go, and that holds him there, in this position. Come around the back, look for the collar. Take him away. Down he goes, step over. Round. You didn't pay £25 to look at my ass today, so I'll move back round the other direction. Who said they couldn't see a fucking difference? Alright, there we go. Bang. Finish there. And you can see how you can get into lots of other things if you want to. We happy with that, or do you want to see it one more time? One more time? Yeah, cool. Give us her. One minute. That lady there, I have to see it again. Okay, here we go. Here. Arm drag break through. In. There it is. That'll do on its own. Walk him away. Through. Take the collar. If no collar, underneath the chin makes no difference. You take him down to the floor. You put his hand down for balance. I'll cut that hand away. Now we come through. Make the finish. Through. Top, step if you want to. There's your lock again. Push him down and finish. We all good? Alright, let's go again. Same thing, just a different ending.
Really have got to push on.
Mr. Elegant here, Samurai Jiu-Jitsu, is that right, Rev?
Yeah, combat jiu-jitsu.
Combat Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, combat jiu-jitsu. My apologies. I've just been rushed on with this one with Lucy. I do apologise, mate.
So give us a little bit of information about yourself, a little bit of your history, where you started, where you are now, and when you see yourself going in the future.
Sure, yeah, well, I started training pre-dawn of history before the dinosaurs arrived on the planet. So I've been involved nearly 50 years in training, teaching, and coaching martial arts. I hold an 8-dan black belt in combat jiu-jitsu, but I've always cross-trained, had an open mind to other arts as well. And I've also competed amateur, semi-pro, professional as a cage fighter, and also in the submission and grappling scene as well. Like, so right across the board, really. But my speciality really is trying to make combative use of jiu-jitsu techniques that were originally Japanese jiu-jitsu, which I call now British jiu-jitsu, and yeah, just adapting it to a more practical purpose in this day and age, really.
Superb. So, your sort of jiu-jitsu journey, you said you cross-trained before.
Yeah.
What kind of arts have you had a look at? What kind of things have led into your jiu-jitsu? And
yeah, I started off with back in 1975 in Kung Fu, the Bruce Lee era. Everybody started there, which I've done. Done a little bit of Taekwondo for a while, and then quite a lot of Aikido, Aikijitsu, which gradually brought me on to jiu-jitsu and its roots. There is nothing really, I come from Bristol, there is nothing really in the southwest of England, so I had to travel far and few. So I never had one instructor. I trained under many,
and obviously they're all slightly different, different ways of practicing. So I guess in the end, it's an amalgamation of a lot of techniques and a lot of systems that I learned, and sort of bring them down to suit my own needs, really.
So again, going on to what sort of makes your jiu-jitsu stand apart?
Yeah.
What is it that gives it that sort of unique feel for you, mate?
I always try to keep an honesty in martial arts and sort of try and train with a realistic view. So I tested myself in many full contact arenas, really just to see how these techniques would hold up under pressure. So I guess what I've done is streamline the techniques and try to make them a little bit more practical for today's use. In comparison to maybe some of the older school style jiu-jitsu.
Awesome. So, where do you see yourself going in the future? What's sort of the goal that you're working towards?
To be honest, it's just still be out there teaching and training. I'm 62 next month, and it's been a long journey for me. And I've achieved a lot of things I set out to do as a young man, and really I've sort of reached that point where I've achieved really everything I wanted to do. So my sons carry on my legacy. They keep that going. They do most of the training. So now I can sort of pick and choose. I'm semi-retired, but I still like to train small groups of people one-to-one and come up and do seminars whenever asked. And it's just to still be out there and getting my stuff over and for people to enjoy it.
I don't think you ever stop, do you? You
Not really.
when you're in martial arts, you're in it for life, aren't you?
Yes, you are. Yeah.
So that's good to see. I am. So last question from me: if you had one piece of advice to give yourself 20 years ago, what would it be?
Probably I would have liked to maybe have found jiu-jitsu a little sooner than I did. I went through many other arts where there was something missing in them that I couldn't quite pinpoint until I come across jiu-jitsu and realised that's probably what I've been looking for. So, but in a way, maybe the journey was the right thing to do anyway,
That's quite a profound way of looking at it. So, Kevin, thank you for your time.
Welcome.
Are you going to be at any other events throughout this year? Have you got?
I'll be down at the Festival of Martial Arts at Mac running, so we're looking into doing that next,
Superb. Well, hopefully, if I don't catch you on the mats today, I'll catch you on the mats at the festival.
Welcome.
Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, you're welcome.
Cheers.
Thank you.
The direction if it keeps going that way, why would I say you're the bottom? So I rotate the hips and shoulders with it. Yeah! Do that kick. Okay? So just fresh air for now. Rotate down, so let me demonstrate. Yeah? Spin on that one foot. Round. Up, down. 2. Okay? If you feel like it, I like to hear people shout. Okay? Off we go. Nice. Awesome. Very nice form, guys. Yeah! 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 Okay, we've got side kick. This can be a little bit tricky, from the main thing, this, you've got the actual thing. The side kick. Imagine that. You've got the big heavy arms, you've got the fine contact. You got a piece of wood. You get the big traction, you pull that piece of wood all day long. You can sink it, yeah? You get the pointy end, go straight through it. If I side kick with a flat foot, I'm not going to get that into the width. I need to steady. That's right there. So I need to pull the toes down. Try and pull the big toes towards the hips and sink the heel towards that. Fresh air for now. I'll demonstrate we come through. Chamber all the way through. Chamber, back, down. I'm losing my balance there. Yeah. Side kicks. Off we go. Everybody's got a picture with it.
Come on, Sensei! Well done, get ready!
It's all right, mate.
Right, you've got 1 minute. Put yourself into it. Back. He's got it. Push this way. Throw him since you went there. No. Stay there, Ben. Head up. Head up. Head up. Head up. Ben, get your head up.
on me. All right? So it has to be good structure. Now this is a training stance. When you see people do this in training, do this. Right? Weight back, no good. Training stance is neutral. The application stance would be this. Coming in. Okay, so weight over the front leg. So just for now, just give a nice neutral stance. So here, now, this 135 degrees, this has to be in the shoulder, not on top. Some of you are doing this. This is feedback for me. So like, to me, I don't think of martial artists, I think of martial athletes. And as a good martial athlete, you should be able to see something and replicate it. Doesn't matter if it's Silat, Thai, okay, or anything. You should, as a martial athlete, you should be able to replicate something in fine details, right? But that's dependent on your experience and your ability where you're at right now, right? So he's here. Look, this has got to be here. Okay, again, so he feeds. Now later on, this hand can, right? That's not a skill per se, right? So that could be that, couldn't it, right? So this hand should be independent of this. So if he feeds that big right hand, boom, I'm just going to come in here this way. But if I opened up, okay, guys throws a big right hand at you and you go like this. You can't do this. You won't be able to do that. Yeah? You understand? You don't have the attributes, which I hate to say it, most of you don't have. Okay, just be honest. Okay, just go right. I got it. So this hand goes there. This is 135 degrees. Comes that side. I'm here now. We can even change footwork in the middle. Okay, so here, changing. And this is just in sequence. What's going to happen when you take it out of sequence? So in other words, then we add the straight punch. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Straight punch, speed up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Straight, in. Got it? Take. Yeah. Okay, you got it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Away you go. Okay. Pretty quick. Okay. I think martial arts is a journey, but I think self-protection is we need to get there as soon as we can. We need to identify the key skills. What determines our skill set? I'll give you the answers because that will be here. Right? Your opponent, or the threat, determines your skill set. What is the threat? Probably, well, it depends on your lifestyle. If you go out drinking in clubs and bars, you're going to get, where there's alcohol, there's fucking idiots, right? That's normally, I stay at home now, quiet, read a book, I don't get it. I was attacked last year. I was wearing shorts, flip-flops, t-shirt. I got attacked. It was an ambush. The guy stopped in traffic, just opened my car door and hit me twice in the head. Right, so I got out of my car, he hit me twice again. Now, I'm always a big believer in training degraded, in a degraded state. So in other words, I physically degrade people and then train, because everybody can function when they're feeling great and it's a good day, and nobody trains when they're feeling shit. That's the days. One thing I'll say, training day is training day. It's not too cold, not too hot, you're never too tired, never too hungry, don't give a fuck, you train, okay? I would say to my students, there's a line, that's the commitment line. If you want to train with me, once you step over that line, you belong to me. In terms of, you don't fucking turn up training more than twice without me knowing you're not training with me, right? Training is non-negotiable, doesn't depend on how you feel. Somebody attacks you, you will not be at your best, okay? I wasn't feeling great that day. I've been punched up 4 times in the head by a guy who obviously was a boxer, okay? And I'm only here today really because of my training. Not just my training, but the type of training that I do. You understand? I expect more of myself than I do of my students. So I had that little moment where I'm thinking, you know what? I could just lie down here and have a day off, and like my face is cut, blood, right? I went, no, fuck it. Because that's my fucking attitude. I'm not the same person on the mat that I am off it. You understand? My demeanor changes, my language changes, my terminology changes. I'm not a nice person anymore. Why? Because this is uncompromising. Okay, and I have a responsibility as do all self-protection, self-defense instructors. I'm not going to fucking tell you it's good if it ain't. And I might say that nicely, or I might just fucking tell it as it is. That shit, you need to do more of it. It's up to you. You understand? But you need to have that same thing with yourself. Right? Are you training enough? I mean, really? Because I don't think most people do. They don't. Right? They don't. Trust me. Alan and I and people that train with me, I'm like, we smash it. Okay? We smash it. That's the only way. I'm not, you know, there's a lot of people doing good stuff out there, but not enough people doing good stuff. There's a lot of people that have got a lot of stuff right, but they haven't got everything right. So this is my quest, if you like, to identify a standard. What's the minimum standard that you need to survive a violent encounter? Now we start at the drunk uncle stage. Everybody should, you know, if we see extreme violence on a level 12, most martial artists can probably survive a 4 or a 5. Okay? You might have the capability in terms of knowledge and physicality, but do you have the capacity in terms of what's in here and what's in here to fucking destroy somebody who's stood in front of you that's trying to harm you or people that you love and care for or you're responsible for? Do you have it? It's up to you, right? You only get that through fucking hard training and training with the right people and being accountable first and foremost to yourself. Okay, now if you're doing martial arts, fine. I can't judge anybody on their karate or kung fu or Brazilian jiu-jitsu or anything. That's not my realm. But this is my realm. Okay, and you need to spend more time getting right. If you can come up with another drill, because anything that's going to hit you is either 9 out of 10 people are going to come this way, right? As an ambush attack, right? Now, what we're going to go now is you feeds. I want you to put this hand on the chest. Now that could be, feed again. Boom! That could be that. Now that could be that, could be that, could be that, could be that, could be anything. This hand floats, but when it comes this side, this hand does the same. Now this down low, here, comes this side, here. So you have the attributes. This is what we're training, attributes, you understand? Now if we want to make it a technique, like most martial artists do, okay, somebody throws a big right hand at you, and you do this, and then you do this, and you do this, what we're going to do in a minute. It's meaningless if you can't do this, or this. That's a fight ender right there. Right, somebody comes at you and your head and goes, BOOM! And punch him in the throat, right, you want me to do it? No, right, because it works, right? So we can say, right, who can punch, but can you punch hard enough? Again, this comes down to attributes. Can you punch as your timing? So when we talk about attributes, we're talking about timing, the right time to punch, in terms of not just preemption, so in other words, preemptive. Now, do you know the law? Knowledge domain. You understand, okay, when you're allowed to punch first. Everybody is conversant with what? Section 3 of the Criminal Law Act? You all know it? Who teaches self-defense? And you know it. I know you know it. I didn't have to answer, I know you know it. Right? So you should know it. Okay? Anyway, coming back. So, now you can go straight fingers to the throat. If you want to just walk forward. Okay, you do it. I'm not even putting anything into it. But you can imagine somebody coming down. Ah! That gives me an in. Right? Boom! The headbutt or whatever. Okay, whatever your tools are, that's the time to do it, right? There's more than one way than this. So he can come in like that, I can go, wow, wow, boom, and all that stuff that everybody else is doing, everybody's doing it. You know, you've seen it all before. Can you do it? Can you do it? Right? So again, start here. 1, 2, I'll just put my hand on his chest. 3, 4. 1, speed up. 2, 3, 1, 2. Go back to the shoulder. Go fingers to the throat. Okay. Palm. Sorry, man. Okay, you get the idea. You should have these skills. Okay, it doesn't take long to get these skills. It's repetition. Do it, do it, do it, do it. Don't do it till you get it right. Amateurs do it till they get it right. Professionals do it till they can't get it wrong. Where are you at? You decide. Right, away you go.
So, thanks for your time, Mo.
You're welcome.
We'll get started. Just give us a little bit on your background. Where did you start? Where are you at now? And where do you plan on being in the future?
Potted history started way back. If I say that I first graded under in Noida, I don't know if that name means much to anybody.
It means quite a lot to karate circles, mate.
Yeah, to karate people. That was way back in the late 70s. Joined the military at a young age. Went through the military. Trained. Been very fortunate to train with a lot of really good people. Richard Bastillo, Eric Paulson, Rick Fay. I mean, the list just goes on and on. A lot of it on seminars.
Yeah.
Back in the day when seminars was the way forward before the internet. Got into the British Combat Association when that first started with Jeff Thompson and Peter Considine. And yeah, just kind of made things up as we went along. I think back in those days, we just kind of it was great, really. It was very raw and very authentic in terms of working things out. I think at the time, martial arts was being questioned in terms of its validity, in terms of self-defense, self-protection, and then the UFC came along, kind of paralleled at the same time, which was great. But
that's around the early 90s, wasn't it?
Early 90s, yeah. And yeah, so I had my military background going on at the same time. I've just had fun, man, just for the last, I can't say how long, but, and where I am right now, I'm in a good place right now. I've got a training group. I've got a really tactical research and development group, which we put together to kind of establish, I think, we're trying to establish standards which I don't think are there at the moment in terms of the self-protection industry, if we can call it that.
Okay.
Or at least a standard, at least what's acceptable. And I think that's really, I've just had a few conversations with people here today, and I think it really does come down to standards.
Is this in terms of like martial systems, or is this like training self-protection specialists, like the people that are out there doing the job? Or is this just, is it trying to get a standard across the board for anybody that's involved in that? Not in
terms of martial arts, no. I'm not. That's not really my realm anymore. It's more about it's difficult to, do we call it defensive tactics? Do we call it self-defense, self-protection? Even the terminology can get lost.
It's quite a grey area, isn't it?
It's a grey area, but I'm looking at what I call the tactical professional, and that could be anybody from the military guys, the law enforcement, security, and also importantly the self-defense, self-protection instructors.
Yeah.
The people that are disseminating this information. And there's no one standard, and there's not even a minimum standard, let alone something to aspire to. And there's no regulating body. There's no real authority per se. I think there are people within the industry who are recognized, Jeff Thompson, Peter Considine, and other names that come up, but I think it just kind of needs pulling together a little bit. Whether I'm, like I say, I've got a good group. I've got some really good people with me, and that's where I am at the moment. So
that's your main thing going forward, then?
Yeah, that's the way I see things going forward. We're trying to produce a manual to support what we're trying to put out there. So that hopefully got good people working on that behind the scenes. I'm not a tech guy. I'm a dinosaur, and I rely on some really good people behind the scenes. I won't mention their names, but they know who they are, and I'm really grateful to them.
You're not the only one in that boat, mate. I think a lot of people, whether it's martial arts, self-protection, or any kind of realm of that sort, you tend to have people that are doing the activity and people that are better at capturing it.
Yeah, there's so many people that are doing different things, even here today, but I think there have to be universal truths that are kind of unquestionable, that people are going to go, if you're teaching, if somebody does a self-defense course, they're going to get 100 different things if they go to 100 different places, and it's confusing.
Yeah.
And it's also I think as an instructor, we have a responsibility. You know, it's a massive responsibility, and we have an obligation, I think, to people that normally we have a relationship with, that, you know, we're talking about people's welfare, their safety, their mental health, their life, ultimately. And I would just like to see not a governing body per se, but a recognised standard. That's what I really would like.
That'd be pretty cool, actually. So going back in time a little bit more, you mentioned your sort of military history and stuff like that. Tell us a little bit about that. Who were you with? Where did you train? What kind of experience have you got in that sort of role?
Military. What can I say about the military? Not much happened, mate. Really, to be honest with you, been around a little bit, and I think the military, like they say, I think 95% is just hanging around waiting for things to happen, and then you have that really condensed. And I think I can remember a couple of moments where it was like, especially in Iraq and places, like being on a movie set, and like you feel like so small. And I can remember just kind of questioning. It made me, because like a lot of times when we're growing up with you know, you're told this, you're told that, and you're brought up as a culture or in the military and whatever.
Yeah.
But it made me question things beyond the kind of the rhetoric that I was brought up and then in the military, you know. And I can remember, you know, a few moments when you see carnage on a scale that you just can't imagine. I mean, you can imagine what's going on in Ukraine right now.
Yeah.
But when you see firsthand things that were once people, and you realise how fragile life is. Not the same for everybody, but it was for me. It kind of made me reevaluate a few things massively. So I mean, I think it was more about what the military. I mean, it taught me a lot of good lessons in terms of life skills, which I didn't have before I joined. You know, structured discipline, all that kind of stuff. But I think it gave me experiences that I really, you know, if we're talking about war and killing people and seeing dead people and killing and carnage and just horrible things, there's no glory in war.
No.
You know, there's absolutely lots.
Do you think that there's much in the way of parallels between the violence that you see on that scale and then the violence you see on a smaller scale, which, you know, you sort of self-defense groups and that are normally training people to deal with? Are there many parallels between those two battlefields, if you will?
Well, I think violence is violence, and it just depends on us. Really, it's just amplification of the scale.
Yeah.
You know, I abhor violence. I think I would hate to be defined by violence. I'm capable of violence, as everybody is, really. Where everybody has a capability, but not everybody has the capacity to be violent. I've had both. You know, I can be both. I have the capability and the capacity to be violent, but in the right context. I'm not gratuitously violent. I hate violence. I abhor violence. I speak out against violence. My rule number one of self-defense, if we can call it that, is be nice. Just be nice. And, you know, if you're nice, then you're probably going to preclude a lot of things happening. If you're an arsehole, then obviously, you know, anybody can have a fight. So in that respect, violence is violence. I don't even like to see. Look, I'm not saying I have a side to me that I don't particularly like, and I work on it. That's kind of my work, is to be a better person.
That's a responsibility as a human, isn't it?
Well, you know, violence is just a tool. It just depends on how you use it and at what scale. So, I mean, you know, like I say, Ukraine, and you know, other things happening around the world. You know, we live in a violent world. We live in violent times, and so really, see, self-defense. You're training for something that statistically is not going to happen, but it could happen. It's not going to happen, but you've got to train for that one moment when maybe it might. So I think there's a lot of nonsense wrapped up in the self-defense. I think too many people are defined by it. I'm way much more than a self-defense instructor or self-protection instructor or whatever. That's just a small facet of who I am.
That's quite an interesting point and take on it. Actually, you know, we're in a room surrounded by people that practice all these different things that stem from violence, but not a single person in here will say that they're defined by it. So that is quite a good point, actually. Thinking back to your more classical training, are there any moments sort of throughout the experiences that you've had that have really stuck out as like very light bulb moments where you've sort of turned a corner in your learning processes at all?
Good point. Good question. So many probably, because I think you kind of address as a light bulb comes on, and you might address that if it's an issue or whatever, and you put that light out, then another one comes on, and maybe two lights come on or three or whatever. I'm intrigued. I'm fascinated by the human element of people, and so in terms of light bulb moments or defining moments, not really. It's just always been such a steady progression. I haven't really taken any 90-degree or 180-degree turns. I don't think. I've always known the path I was on and where I was going. So it's not like I've been deflected. So no, I don't think so.
Okay. Well, we'll wrap things up a little bit then. If you had one piece of standout advice that you could give yourself 20 years ago, what would that be?
20 years ago, excuse me. 20 years ago. Crikey. I think I've always, like I say, when I go back to the times in the military that made an impact on me, I kind of made a philosophical decision to live my life a certain way. So I never was really. I'm not a materialistic person. I don't need. I live my philosophy, which I think a lot of people don't. In other words, I'm comfortable in my own skin. I know who I am. I know what I'm prepared to do, and what where I want to go. So 20 years ago, I'm probably on the same path now. I'm not the same person, obviously, but I'm on the same path. So I'm quite happy with that. To give myself advice, probably not, because no, because I think I formed my philosophy in the military, and I went, that's the way I want to go. I'm not after materials. I'm not after materialistic things. I'm not after money. That's not to say, again, money's just a tool. So I'm not chasing anything. I'm not after anything per se. So 20 years ago, no,
That's quite a profound thing to think about.
I'm quite happy where I was 20 years ago. I'm quite happy with who I am now, and I know where I'm going, and I know what I'm doing, and I'm happy, and I'm blessed. People say I'm lucky. I live in a beautiful part of the world, beautiful family. I've got wonderful friends, and people say I'm lucky. I'm not lucky. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. So
Cool. Will we see you at Kaizen again?
well, do you know what? This is my first time. I was a little bit intimidated by the journey because I live quite. It took me about 4.5 hours, and I was kind of 4.5 hours. I don't know, but I've got to say, I was here 5 minutes, and I've met so many wonderful people, and people I haven't seen for a long time, and it's been a joy. I've got to say, it's been a joy. I haven't seen much of what's going on the mats, to be honest with you, because I've spent so much time talking to friends and people, new people, and I've had a blast. So I'll definitely be back if I'll be invited back. Yeah.
Superb. Well, Mo, thanks for your time again.
Thank you.
And hopefully we'll see you again in future. Thank
No,
you
I
very
hope so.
much.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Who's on here now?
the legend that is Alfie Lewis with us today at Kaizen Adrenaline 2023. Alfie, thanks for taking the time to talk with us. It's a pleasure coming down, and I wanted to all have a conversation, so far away. Great. All right then, so anybody who knows martial arts in the UK should know your name anyway, but for those that don't, just give us a little bit about your background, where you started, where you came from, and what you've done up to this point.
Okay, I started when I was 73. I'm about 61. I won all the titles. That's quite false. Well, I started freestyle this week. Yeah. Now Musha guys. My sport is most successful ever. Well, right in sun to now. It's still cool. That's about it. Nothing else to say. That's quite a long and you know, sort of solid history that you guys have got. So what's sort of your focus at the moment? Are you still actively training and teaching, or you know, where has your journey brought you to in martial arts? I still train both things. Nobody fights not the morning. But I give a 4 o'clock in the morning. It's peaceful. Yeah, don't house and sound. Old self. I don't train at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock. But I do talk training. I want to train. My journey is on board. I still teach. You don't teach how to get it. I grind. It's my spiritual place. I pass on my knowledge. It's forward forward because of force and Martha it's so work. Yeah. Oh, I started to recognizable. I have to see your knowledge and everything changes. Yeah. Yeah. To see change. Something that's the words. I'm not about to put people down what to do because praise the fight. It was flashing. Line of fight is different, but I understand it. So what we do now is just support what I did. No conflict of anything. So ignoring what's gotten worse, in your opinion, what do you think has improved? So say from the 80s and 90s to now, 70s and so far. The 70s. What has improved since the 70s? What do you think is better now than it was then? The presentation is now accessible as some series. Bruce Lee careful of 70 troops. Yeah, stories. I can't explain it yet. When you guys sit down, I take the graduate, you're like, Popeye, at this time, the sports out, Dr. Mendoza, it was just amazing. Right? It do gone down draft. 2 words I use. The answer value or bullshit value. I don't know, it's a lot of bullshit value. But again, I accept it because the people want it. It's true. Yeah. What's changed is this. The professionalism. Just stresses me. I'm a package. Everything else, it wins. You know? So where do you see yourself in 10 years' time? Have you got any major plans for your school, what you're teaching? Or are you just going to keep rolling it as it is? I am definitely, it's to be team being happy. Happiness is the most important thing, right? And you get self-contentment, you achieve things. Trophies, money, all that kind of stuff are relevant because they try to make you secure, right? But the best thing you want is happiness. I'm happy. So continue being happy with my objective. I continue teaching my students to be the best they can be, not only source artists, but people. Cool. Just to round it off, if you could give yourself and your younger self any kind of advice, what would it be? Do nothing different.
Nothing different.
Good. The bad, the good, make who I am. You can change things. I wouldn't do it for yourself. I was a lot of achievement situation on it. I'm maybe violent. It was like that thing wasn't good, then I wouldn't be like so it's good and bad, it's a must. If you take one bit out, where you look yourself, how can you experience a whole suggestive experience where you get killed, or the son get killed? Put that on one side, you check here that other thing you are.
Okay, so at the experience, the good and bad is you're supposed to art and accept it and move on. That's fun. Sounds a very profound way of looking at it. Now, I'm through. So Alfie, I really appreciate you taking the time with us. Are you going to be any other events this year that you can look out for? I don't get involved so much. I just teach myself. I've seen what you have to see. I respect everyone putting your guests in. I respect everyone well. You will see me only since I'm not real funny, real marked out of my vision. I just go up. Nothing else. Because I want to see it slow. I want to see it slow. Pass on some foot. I'm students to go tonight here ever. Right, I'm 61 now. Jamming, there's a guy who's 17. So that's right, I'm the 10 years up. I'm gonna live till 2000 years of age. But I don't. We swing to have a legacy. So we'll just keep a lookout for you anywhere and everywhere. Like, I wish everyone well. You're dirty. Whoever did it on, enjoy it, embrace it, and then love it and love yourself. Thank you. Really appreciate your time, Alpha. Thank you very much, mate. Take care, Alpha. Cool.
Well, thanks for that. You're welcome. So it's not same time. So I gotta be ready to take it all the time, okay? Bang, bang, bang. Then you're like, the arms start going. What comes then next? Boom! For that knockout. Okay? So let's work that on the body, nice and easy. And that goes, we're just gonna come different areas, different angles. Just like that for about 5 seconds. Then you get it back to me. And then I'll come back working with him. You. Just a couple of seconds each side, okay? So we're getting a nice little angle. I don't know, but I don't know if that's water. I can find it. That big security.
Welcome, guys, to the Kaizen podcast. We're at Kaizen Adrenaline 2023. I've got Carl Fisher and Craig Lawson from Wimbledon BJJ with us today. You guys are teaching a little bit later on today.
Yep.
Give us a little bit of a rundown on what it is you're going to be covering today.
We're on mat 2.
Yep.
About 3:15, and we'll be covering traditional jiu-jitsu, self-protection techniques, stuff that I've used in the 30 years on the doors that have worked under pressure. And then Craig will be coming on board near to the end, and he'll be doing a talk discussion about reasonable force and how it applies to your self-defense training.
Cool. Now we did that. It was last year's as well. You've actually got quite a good approach. So I was on the mats for that one. We had a good time with that one. So your experience, your outside of BJJ experiences within the police force?
Yeah, so I was about 20 years in the police. Then so part of the work I did there was as a trainer. So everything that I do around this sort of use of force and that whole legal side of things is all that will get taught to cops.
Yeah.
And what I do is I just kind of mould it to suit civilian approach, because it's not all relevant what cops will be taught, but all the models you go through and the reasonable force and how you should use force and what's proportional and what's not, that's all exactly the same. So that's where I would come from. So we'd kind of blend it in with the training. So we'll do the techniques, take them to that's what we'd say is a suitable finish, and then part of the talk of it would go, wrong. Why don't you go that step further? What do you need to do to keep yourself safe if you ever do get in touch with the police? And it can happen. If you're involved in self-defense, you're involved in martial arts, and you get into a fight, you can get
they tend to just round everybody up, don't they?
They can. And you've got to understanding, and I'll never go down the line to saying, right, when you get nicked, this is what you must say. You know, we go to court, this is what you must say, because there isn't a one size fits all. So what we look at between us is what approach should you take to make sure that everything you do fits within that legal parameters of use of force, so you don't have to have that panic later on because you're quite justified in what you've done.
Right. So how did you guys start training together then? Was it because you're not based in the same place, are you?
We're not, are we? So I was doing, I still do traditional jiu-jitsu with Rob Phelps in Leicester, and you were doing some seminars, didn't you?
Yeah, we was doing myself and Gary Hilton. Gary had his outfit called Precision Self-Protection, and he's a striking background, and I met him at a seminar up in Manchester, I think, and we got chatting, and I saw his syllabus. I said, I do grappling. I said, let's work together. He said, right, no problem. Gary's like the striking instructor, I'm the grappling instructor, and we did a few seminars just before lockdown. That's where I'd met Craig previously at Rob's, because I'd done some jiu-jitsu groundwork seminars there. So Craig came on the PSP one, wasn't it? Just before lockdown, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And we made friends and things, and me and Gary at the same time, we thought, hang on a minute, Craig's ex-policeman, let's get him on board for the legal, so he's a legal advisor, I think.
So you sort of pulled your respective specialties and
pulled everything in. I think
you got that standardised system in place.
Yeah, like Craig was saying, that the legal side, it's not covered a lot. But a lot of clubs, it's just do this, do that, hit this, hit that. No, what if? Well, what if you did that and you didn't intend to hurt them, but as they fell down, they cracked the skull and they're bleeding out the ribs and they're unresponsive, and you get arrested and you're like, oh my god, you've got to justify yourself. So that area, it's seldom taught, so I think that gives us quite a unique approach to our self-defence training.
So let's have a look at your sort of like your competitive backgrounds. I know you went up against Tom Hardy, didn't you?
I didn't go up.
You were in the same tournament.
I was in the same tournament. Yeah, I didn't fight him. I'm a little bit too old and a little bit too fat to fit in his own category. But no, I was in that tournament. I mean, I competed back in the 90s in traditional taekwondo when I was doing that, and then more recently, since doing BJJ with Carl, I've competed for the last couple of years. Not quite got the gold medal yet, and I think my lad says to me, Dad, all you need to do is try a bit harder. So I've had a couple of silvers. I think you know what? Yeah. So that's me. Very sort of limited at the moment. No.
You have quite a lot of the guys from the Wimbledon BJJ gym competing, don't you? I see fairly regular on your social media. You've always got people placing, which is it must be really good as a coach to sort of see your youngins coming up like that.
Half an hour ago, I've got three lads were competing at a competition in London today. We've got 3 gold medals.
Yes, nice, well done.
Of them. One got gold, and he entered a division above. They offered him another division, so he got that. I've got teenagers competing, and we're a very active club for that.
That's awesome. It's nice to see, because I'm obviously not experienced in that kind of competition. So I mean, is regular competition something that you want to push people to be doing if they're into BJJ, or is it something that you can sort of leave to the wayside and just focus on building your technical skills?
I don't pressure everybody. You must compete or you don't get a belt.
Yeah,
I tell them the benefits. I've competed all over the world, all multi-styles of grappling and whatever, and I've seen the benefits, the lifelong friends you get, and if you want to pressure test yourself outside of the gym, just go to a competition, and you learn things. You get the respect of everybody that's competed. I have some students who started in the 40s and 50s, and they just say, "Well, it's not for me. I'm a bit old. I've got injuries. So if you want to do it, fine. I'll encourage you all the way." But some of my students, they say, "I'm not into that. I just want to do the keep fit, self-defense side." So I think that's fine. So
Like you say, that pressure testing is a good arena to go in, and just the fact of getting up in the morning, going to a venue, walking in here for a competition, putting your gear on or whatever, and going on the mats and facing someone is daunting. I always say though, the hardest bit is actually getting on the mats, and I think you do once you've done it, you do think you hate it. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And as soon as I get there, I'm like, everyone's bigger than me, everyone's faster than me, everyone's better than me. I've got no chance. And then once you start, you kind of get into it, and you come away thinking it wasn't that bad. I'll do it again, and then you go for that same cycle. But I think, like I said, that pressure testing side of it is very good.
I think you get used to controlling your adrenal response, don't you, from that kind of that constant pressured approach.
Yeah.
So where are we going to see you guys over the next, say, like 5 years? Are you building with precision self-protection? Are we just going to see Wimbledon BJJ sort of grow and take on the world? What is next for you guys?
Just
all of the above.
All of the above, yeah. All of the above. Yeah, just working on building the gym up in London, working with Craig and Gary, building up the self-protection side. So they're two separate entities. So just getting out on the seminar circuit, and for this type of thing is more the traditional martial art, the self-protection side. With Luke's Japanese martial arts event, that was a good showcase for me.
I think we're going to have another one of those at some point, aren't we? So
I sold that as a sport jiu-jitsu, with a lot of traditional jiu-jitsu.
Well, I'll tell you about that one at the Japanese martial arts show. That key lock that you ran through and being able to push the head through, I've used that like 1,000,001 times. I've stolen that at Smart.
It's all right. That's good. That's good to hear. Yeah.
But the approach that you had to teaching it was so simple that even somebody like myself, I'm not a ground fighter by nature, so being able to pick something up like that from a very striking based background, it just goes to show that there's a very obvious and easy crossover there.
So I look at it thinking, those like the techniques we'll do today, it isn't a case of right, if you're not done grappling, don't bother. It's for everyone. And if you've never done grappling, great, come and have a go. Simple, gross motor skill techniques, and again with the use of force side of it is no one's expecting you to be a lawyer or a police officer. All it is basic knowledge, basic. So it's almost like just looking at principles. Let's not delve into the law. Let's not try and dissect what something means. Let's look at the principle of what it is and understand that. And then once you understand the principle around use and force, you've got a lot better option of giving yourself.
It's like a responsibility you've got, really, isn't it? As a martial arts practitioner, because you have those skills and the potential capacity for violence. You should equally have the responsibility that couples.
It's a choice, isn't it? You have to being violent is a choice, and and again, if you're training martial arts, you have that capacity to be violent, and if you're in a confrontation, you've got to be able to be at least as violent as that person that's threatening violence against you. As horrible as it sounds, that is it. You have to be able to, but it's a choice of when you use it, and that's where the moral side of it comes in. Is we don't choose to go around beating everyone up. You keep yourself peaceful up until the point you need to. So it's trying to educate people across the whole spectrum of the physical side, but then the thought-provoking side, so we can get all angles covered. So we're getting there. We're slowly chipping away.
It's been a success so far. I've heard a lot of buzz from quite a lot of the self-protection based folks we've had in today. They're all looking forward to seeing that sort of flip side to things. So I'm expecting a good full set of mats for you guys.
Yeah, good, yeah.
So what events are we going to see you guys at throughout the rest of this year? Have you got anything else planned?
Yeah, we're at the festival. Festival of Martial Arts.
Superb. I'll see you at that one.
Yeah, I'll be down for that. I don't know what the itinerary is, but I had a chat with Matt. And I said I'm happy to do gi, no gi, traditional jiu-jitsu, sport jiu-jitsu. So we've
got a good few days, haven't we, for that? So
yeah, so
whatever, should be an awesome experience.
Whatever comes up, to teach that.
Yeah. So I'm there on just for the Saturday I'm there, and I'm going to do a stint on youth force. So I've had sort of Matt's come and said would I do it, and I thought, well, it's probably the first time that side of it is going to be presented as a standalone kind of session. So it'll be interesting to see who comes along. So I've got some sort of bits to go through with that for about an hour's worth. So yeah, I should be there on the Saturday.
Well, I look forward to it, guys. Thank you for your time, and
no problem.
hopefully get on the mats with you guys later. Thank you very much, Craig. Thank you very much, Carl.
Thanks a lot.
And yeah, that's everything. Got Luci Delgadio, the man with a plan, master of disaster, the Italian stallion, the return of the Mac.
The return of Kaizen. Yeah.
For Kaizen Adrenaline 2023. Luci's the organizer for the event. He's the guy that pulls everybody together. So Luci, run us through. This is the biggest Kaizen we've had yet. Loads of mats, loads of people.
It's the biggest one, the hardest one to organise. But you know, we've done it. We did it. And it's coming up to the end of the day now. I'm absolutely worn out. There's a lot of tired bodies.
Yeah.
The seminars have been, it's been so busy today. It's been the busiest. I'm just so glad we've quadrupled the size.
Yeah,
of the
you
venue.
definitely needed it for today, didn't
man.
you?
And it's been ace. It's been an absolutely great day. And
So how does it feel like from your first Kaizen, which was a fairly small,
Yeah.
you know, compared to this especially, it was a small event, you know, very, very under the radar type thing initially, just a gathering of grassroots clubs.
Yeah.
To what you've got now, how does it feel having that kind of growth?
when I did the first Kaizen in 2017, right? And like you said, it was a lot of my mates and a lot of like clubs all pulling together. And don't get me wrong, we've had awesome instructors every single time. And we've just grown it step by step. It's grown naturally.
Yeah.
And you know, I said I'll do 5 and see where we go. This is the 5th one, and we're at one of Nottingham's biggest arenas. It's not the biggest, it's massive. Look at it. You know what I mean? It's huge. We've got a tournament in here. We've had 80 jiu-jitsu fights.
Yeah, they've been absolute showstoppers so far, haven't they? They've been awesome.
Absolutely. And we've got 7 zones, 8 zones.
Yeah,
we've had 8 zones. You know, demonstrations all day. It's been absolutely so busy. I'm lost for words. It's been brilliant. It's been absolutely
with
brilliant.
an event like this, where do you go from here? What's next?
What's next is to obviously expand it. The people want 2 days. We're going to give them 2 days. That's what the people want. The people want they want it 2 days. We'll give it them.
Awesome.
So it'll be something like this, but over a long weekend. Kaizen's always been a 1-day event, and because I felt as if we was going to do a 2-day one, 2020, but we had COVID.
Yes.
And coming back from COVID, it was a big risk, and it was a
strong event though.
Yeah, it was a really, really strong event. Kaizen's, we pride ourselves because we're so different. We're so different to anybody else. It's a total different. It's
about involvement, isn't it? Like I mean, myself, I'm already soaked with sweat.
Yeah.
When I've spent the best part of the last hour, I was playing with the capoeira guys. They weren't even running a zone. We were just having a play in the open air. It was awesome.
They were brilliant, man.
So I mean, with Kaizen as a sort of whole ship, I know that you. We had the Japanese martial arts show previously. Is that going to be making a return?
Absolutely.
Anything in the pipeline yet?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm not saying nothing yet, but it's a traditional Japanese martial arts because we'll showcase Japanese martial arts, karate, jiu-jitsu, and all their little hidden gems, judo. So we're talking to instructors at the moment. But after today, I've got a little rest. We go straight to the Festival of Martial Arts.
Yeah, at the end of the month.
After that, and we'll have another rest. But what I can say is, I think Kaizen is purposely built for more of an autumn event.
So
and
we
not
may
a
be
summer
looking a
event.
bit later on
We're
in the
looking at
year in
later on
future.
in the year, 100.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely something to brighten up the autumn and winter months, mate.
Definitely.
Fantastic. Okay,
thank you.
so there's not much else really that we need to cover other than you know, what would you like to say to people out there? Anybody who's on the fence about attending Kaizen, what is it in your opinion makes this stand out against everything else that's out there?
The feedback I get from people is what a great vibe it is. And it's really really a great vibe. Alpha Lewis come in, that's the first thing he said, wow, what a great vibe it is. You can just feel that awesomeness.
Well, we had a wicked interview with Alfie earlier on. He's such good energy,
And just martial arts, British martial arts royalty walking around. do you know what I mean? I'm like, what's he doing here? Yeah, do you know what I mean? And it's because Kaizen's growing naturally, and people want to be a part of it, which is great. People should be a part of every martial art event. You know what I mean? It's British martial arts.
Well, it keeps you
it's
alive, doesn't it?
Yeah, man, it's the best in the world.
Awesome. Well, Lucci, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Where are we going to see you next? Festival, I imagine?
Festival of Martial Arts, June the 30th.
June the 30th, and that runs right through the weekend.
Yeah.
I believe all the glamping pods are gone now, so it's
Sold
just
out.
tent
Sold
pitches
out.
available, is that right?
Bring your tent, bring your sleeping bag. Do you know what I mean? We're just going to have a great weekend of martial arts.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. I'm looking forward to that one myself.
It's the first of its kind. It's a really difficult project. Doing 2 events like this back to back really does wear you out. It really does. And but I love it, man. I love it. It's what the people want, and we'll give them. We'll give it to them.
Super.
Thank you for all the sponsors and vendors, all the instructors, and everyone who attended. Because without you guys, there'll be no show.
Well, cheers for putting the show on.
Welcome.
Catch you on the
Thanks
next
for
one.
having me, man. In a bit.
All well and good, that, mate.